Hey everyone, and welcome to, what is this, volume 7 of these Reddit short... Jeez, I've made too many of these. I hope you like it. Who is a celebrity loved by the majority, but he's actually really creepy? Dr. Phil. I watched that 2-hour video about how Dr. Phil's bad, but I really like him. Steven Tyler? You guys should see what Mark Wahlberg used to get up to back in the day. Well, you know what he didn't get up to? Stopping that plane, because he could have stopped it. Drake. Not super famous, but Chris D'Elia seems like a huge creep who has somehow swept things under the rug. Charlie Chaplin, he dated a 12-year-old girl and got her pregnant when she was 15. I like retroactively canceling people. This is really fun. What only works in movies? Doing whatever you want in a courtroom as long as you are going somewhere with it. The silence of being silent. That video of realistic John Wick shooting scene is hilarious. Conveniently knocking someone unconscious so they're not bothering you for several minutes while you do secret stuff. Odd number of hits to the head, amnesia. Even number of hits to the head, amnesia cured. Surely that's not a rule they use, right? Running away from an explosion and letting the blast push you to safety. Surely there's a Mythbusters episode on that, right? Someone pushing a fruit car across the street just as you're speeding by. I've never seen a moving fruit cart. What's your best example of when a villain was right? Ken from the Bee Movie. I too would go absolutely berserk if a talking bee stole my girlfriend and gaslit me into thinking I was crazy. Baby's dad in Dirty Dancing. Baby's like 16 in that movie. He was absolutely right to be wary of a dude in his mid-20s hanging out with his teenage daughter. Is that what that movie is? The head chef in Ratatouille. He was wrong about some stuff, but was 100% right in not wanting rats in the kitchen cooking. Count Dooku. In the end, he was moved by genuine anger towards the Senate's corruption, but the dark side corrupted him into a mirror of the corruption he hated. Say corruption one more time. What TV series went on too long? Riverdale needs to end? I want to watch it really bad just to see how bad it is. Grey's Anatomy? 2.5 Men? That should have been done after Charlie left. That 70s show when Eric and Kelso left and just plummeted. As soon as the main character leaves the show, they should stop. How I Met Your Mother would have been better if they just skipped season 8 and told you he ends up with 13 Reasons Why. That needed 1 season. I don't know how it had more. Arrested Development. The original 3 seasons were lightning in a bottle, nearly flawless, and they ended with a fitting full circle conclusion. Designated Survivor. Dude, Designated Survivor was so good. I wanted the 4th season. What is a movie that is aged poorly? The movie about the world ending in 2012. I think it was called The Bus That Couldn't Slow Down. Rambo 3, the heroic Afghan Muslim freedom fighters fighting the Soviets. It didn't age poorly, that's actually just a real life event that happened. Hoodwinked? I want to watch that movie again. Back to the Future 2, it's been 7.5 years past their date and we still don't have most of the things that they predicted. Mrs. Doubtfire, the whole thing is sad, not funny. Someone's just taking that movie too seriously, I think. What's the dumbest myth people today believe? My dad had this guy helping him out who told him if you sleep with your hair wet, you will bleed out of your mouth. What? Lie detectors as a literal thing. Black belts have to register their fists as weapons. If you drop a penny off a skyscraper, it will eventually fall fast enough to puncture someone's skull. By that logic, raindrops would hurt. I actually wonder that Einstein failed his grade school math class. It was the subject of a Ripley's Believe It or Not column in 1935, and Einstein himself refuted the article. I remember the myth that gum takes 7 years to fully pass through your digestive system. Yeah, I didn't realize that. What job is useless? My math teacher who tells me to log into Pearson and then disappears. Yeah, digital books kind of just ruins teaching. Google Pharmacy Benefit Manager. Literally, their only purpose is to make more money. An elevator attendant. First floor, sir? I'll press the button number 1 for you. Yeah, but you feel like a king, right? The lady who walks around the office saying, don't be on your phones. If you have time for that, then you can study about the company. Paparazzi. True. Scum of the earth. Bathroom attendants? No one is talking about those side spinners that became popular. But at least they look cool when they're doing it. Who's a bad guy in history who actually wasn't a bad guy? That woman who was accused of kidnapping children because her kids didn't have her DNA, but in fact her uterus had different DNA than the rest of her body. A dingo really ate her baby. That is actually what happened. The dingo did eat the baby. Richard Jewell, security guard at the Atlanta Olympic who was blamed for the bombing. In Braveheart, William Wallace gets betrayed by Robert the Bruce, which never happened. He was loyal to the end. Tom the cat, Jerry is a menace. That's so true. What's a modern-day poison people willingly ingest? Personally, I'm horrendously addicted to nicotine and it's probably killing me. It's like that and alcohol that people are like, yeah, whatever, I'll have it. Sips coffee, takes bong hit, doom scrolls Reddit. Fuck, I can't think of anything. Those talking videos with like 3 things happening on the screen simultaneously. Outrage, it's straight out poison to your mental health, but we thrive on it, yearn for it. Those shorts videos that now are almost in every platform. If you have problems with focus and getting shit done, then you know that if you keep watching them, you might end up the next day. And I thank you all so much for watching. What's an unwritten rule about the road that new drivers should know? Try to give other drivers as much information as possible. Always use your turn signals, even in a turn lane. People have no way of knowing if you're actually about to turn or not. That's true. When I first passed my test, my dad said to me, assume that everyone is a terrible driver who is trying to kill you. Keep your cool, road rage kills. For the love of God, turn off your brights when you're behind someone else. I would love for this to be a law. Always know what's around you. Know what cars are behind you or in the lane next to you. That way, if you feel you have to change lanes quickly, you know whether you can or not. Speed up to match the speed before you try to merge onto a highway. It's that Simpsons meme of, I can't stress this enough. What screams I have no life? Only ever talking badly about other people. Had some co-workers like this once and being around them 8 hours a day was draining. Posting everything about your personal business and drama on social media. That's what going out with your friends is for. The guy in my office who monitors how long everyone has been away from their computer. Calling cops on kids with a lemonade stand. Trying to look tough on the internet. I don't know where the trying comes from. I am tough on the internet. Being a mean girl ever, but especially past high school. Oh. Anyone who acts like they're still in high school after high school should be shot. I'm level 389 on Warzone 2. I take everything back. That guy tops it. What is the biggest unsolved mystery in human history? In Australia in 2011, someone broke into a TV station, spent 4 hours flushing 100 grand down the toilet. I didn't know about that. I read these threads and wonder how many disappeared people are homeless transients with no memory of who they are. I never even thought about that. That's crazy. 2 possibilities exist. Either we are alone in the universe or we are not. Both are equally terrifying. Neither medicine nor science has an answer for what consciousness is or where it originates. Why did we all globally decide that those blue Dutch cookie tins hold sewing supplies? What celebrity did you stop liking or supporting because of their personal life choices? Well, Bill Cosby for one. The classic, got that out the way. Used to work as a camera operator in film and TV for about 15 years. Trust me, you don't want to meet your heroes. Okay, well, you actually don't know the first thing about me, so. Nicki Minaj, I was a huge fan, a bit of a barb truly, until she started collabing with 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine goes so hard and I don't want to hear it. Any Scientologist, Jared Leto, loved his music and most of his acting roles. OJ Simpson, but he didn't do it. You don't get it. Have you read his book? He didn't do it. What's the best response to go to hell? Been here since you opened your mouth. See you there? I can't go to hell. I'm all out of vacation days. Boo, take away that man's Reddit gold. Why would I go home with you? Can't. The devil has a restraining order. What does that mean? I've been there, came back for you. Been there and your mum needs you to pick up some milk. I have no interest in your mother nor her bed, sir. Oh yeah? Well, the jerk's so cold and they're running out of you. Which profession attracts the worst kinds of people? Stockbrokers. I have some friends who are stockbrokers. I love them, but man, they are some bullshit artists. Yeah, that's half of the job, I think. I'm a casino dealer. People losing money brings out the worst qualities in them, especially when I deal high-limit games. Hollywood producer, it seems. Paparazzi? True. Horrible people. Bad people. Bad. My mum worked in a prison. She said that a lot of the men in there for sex offenses against children had/were looking for jobs like driving ice cream vans, dressing as Santa. Oh, that's fucked up. What instantly ruins a burger for you? Being too big to fit in your mouth. Pointless. Might as well just throw it on a plate. If you can't take a bite out of a burger, then that's just dumb. Nothing kills a burger faster than a bad tomato. I've never had a bad tomato in a burger. Watery old lettuce. One time I got a burger with terrible lettuce. It tasted like it came straight out of a lake. Poor construction. When it flies out the other end. Pro tip, if they give it to you with a skewer in it, leave the skewer in it while you eat it until it's about halfway done or a quarter done. I once ordered a breakfast burger that was advertised as having, among other toppings, egg. The monstrosity that came out had a quarter hard-boiled egg on it. Bits of bone. What kind of burger are you eating? You find a wallet with $300 in it. What do you find in the wallet that makes you keep the money? I found a wallet with $2,300 in it, and I tracked the guy down. He was very rude and said it all better be here. Counted it out and then didn't say anything else. I wish I'd kept the money after seeing the asshole that lost it. Surely the guy thought that you stole it, because otherwise there's no reason to act like that. Found a wallet outside my work with about $600 in it. Didn't recognize the faces of co-workers, so I brought it home and mailed it to the address the next day. I've been getting Christmas cards from them every year since then. That is so sweet. That's so nice. It seems weird to me that a lot of people are walking around with so much cash in their wallet. Is that just me? What yells, "I have no life"? I completed One Piece in just 1 month. Okay, it is possible. That is almost 14 days straight of watching. That is insane. Having so much time backstabbing and gossiping about people who are not even doing anything wrong to you. Starting workplace drama. Dude, my favorite part of those people is when they get fired. That's epic. Making multiple accounts on any social media platform and having conversations with yourself. Being way too invested in what other people are doing and judging them for it with no good reason. If you're willing to make a big deal at a place of business of someone just trying to do their job, just let that 15-year-old at Kmart check your bag. They're just there for the paycheck. What is the best response to "I don't date short guys"? This one's for the short kings out there. Bite her knees. Laugh loudly. Disappear with the use of smoke bomb. Maybe short people are my people. They're all funny so far. When on Tinder, I wrote my height because I know women have preference. When I matched with taller women who also wrote their heights, I would always ask if they were ready for this kind of long-distance relationship. Okay, never mind. These people suck. Hanger, you must be this tall to ride sign around her neck. Alright, but when I get back to the North Pole, Santa is going to be happy to hear about this. A single tear slowly running down your cheek. What profession do you find unhealthy? Farmers. My dad was exposed to toxic herbicides and his doctors attributed his terminal stomach cancer to his decades of exposure. Dude, he's like the real life Walter White. African cobalt miner. A lot of them. You think the people unloading trucks for a big box store are taking care of their knees and backs? EMT. Those hours are unbelievable. Paramedics are the one occupation that I can't think of a single person who doesn't like them. Bartending. There are so many alcoholics on both sides of the bar you become friends with. It can be difficult to keep yourself in check. Competitive eating? Oh my god. What do you miss about the COVID lockdown? Giant parking lot across my condo was always empty because it was for a gym that shut down. I could rollerblade there any time of the day and it was completely safe. That's actually really cool, and that sucks that they took that away from you. No traffic. My life didn't change at all during, but man was my commute to work better. Corporations pulling the stick out of their ass about flexible work hours and locations. Can you imagine if they try and bring back only working from the office? I actually saved a lot of money. Silence, just birds singing, no human noises. I think it's really funny how during the time everyone didn't really like the lockdowns, but then everybody seems to have at least one thing that they miss about that lockdown period. What's a website that is no longer around that you miss? A message board from IMBD? That would be a hellhole. That would be a terrible time to scroll through. The old Cartoon Network website back in the early mid-2000s had some amazing games on there. The old miniclip.com? Oh god, miniclip, not Doppler, they were the best. Club Penguin. I miss the way YouTube used to be. I miss things like Syndicate's Minecraft project where it would just be 10 minutes of just unedited, just playing a game, and you'd get that daily. ThinkGeek.com had some of the silliest and strangest things you could get. In New York, they have a ThinkGeek store that's a part of GameStop. People that don't hate their jobs and make a decent wage, what do you do? I'm a statistician and work with a government agency. I particularly really enjoy not having to interact with too many people. Maybe that's just what I missed from COVID. National Park Ranger, 32 years and counting. As with any profession, there are still bad days. I'm the only IT guy for a family-owned business. They know nothing about computers, so as long as everything is running smoothly, they leave me alone. I only put in about 45 minutes of actual work every week. Electrician. It's hard work most days, but satisfying seeing it all lit up and functioning properly. Knowing my work will still be in service many years from now feels good, and seeing customers marvel at their new light fixtures looking great is a good feeling. See, that does sound super positive. What food has the worst texture? Beef tongue. Okay, why are you regularly seeking out beef tongue? Are you good? Cartilage, like chewing a bouncing ball. You ever get that when you're having wings? Jello. A lot of people will probably disagree with that dilmy texture in my mouth made me throw up the first time and the taste wasn't even bad. Very fatty meat. Yeah, if you have to sit there and chew on that thing for ages, it's the worst. Raw celery? You're telling me there's cooked celery? Eraser food. Rubbery, chewy textures like octopus. What about squid? Because I with squid. What famous person didn't deserve all the hate they got? Rebecca Black got roasted hard at 14 years old for the song Friday. That is true, that did happen, and now she's on songs with Baby No Money, and they go hard. Paris Hilton's ex sold revenge porn to a legit publisher and got away with it. Lindsay Lohan, overworked and pimped out by her parents. I don't know a single thing about her. A dingo ate my baby. Parents of Azaria were ridiculed and hounded by the press, and the grieving mother statement became a pop culture reference. The guy who played Kid Anakin, he was bullied so hard that it ruined all the love he had for Star Wars. That's just the way the character's written, man. What do you want? What's the best comedy movie you have ever watched? Scrolled forever but couldn't find This Is Spinal Tap. That one goes to 11 every time. That is an amazing movie. Think of it as like The Office, but for a band that hasn't blown up yet in the 80s. It's amazing. Edgar Wright movies like Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead. The Emperor's New Groove. Again, I thought that was a TV show. I didn't know they made a movie. I don't care how many times I watch it, I will always die laughing at Superbad. Not as good as you remember. Tropic Thunder. If you want to see Robert Downey Jr. in blackface the same year that the first Iron Man came out, watch Tropic Thunder. It is insane that it got made, but it's legitimately such a good movie. People who eat pizza with a knife and fork. Why? You ever tried to lift a slab of deep dish to your face? You ever cut it up into slices and then lift it up? Idiots. Typically, I do it because I'm working on my PC and don't want to have to wipe my hands off every time I need to type something. Just take like a 10-minute break. One must always distinguish themselves from the peasants. Okay, yeah, how's living at your mum's house? I don't like my hands getting greasy. That's all you need to say. Mainly, it forces me to slow down and appreciate the pizza instead of just shoving it in. A lot of people here don't have self-control and they're using utensils to enforce self-control. What movie has the greatest opening of all time? Scream, 1996. I was startled. Saving Private Ryan. I need to watch that. Apparently it's amazing. The Lion King. Does it start with Simba on the rock? Because that's pretty boss. The Matrix. That is such a good movie. Raiders of the Lost Ark. No contest. It's movie magic defined. The Dark Knight. That is actually an insane opening sequence that hooks you in immediately. 28 weeks later. The Watchmen. Times they are a-changing. Watchmen is alright from memory. I don't really remember it that well. What are two historical events most people don't realize happened about the same time? Hitler, Stalin, Trotsky, Tito, Freud, and Archduke Ferdinand all lived in Vienna in 1913. That is insane. Some of the most impactful men in history all lived in the same place in the same year. Auschwitz opened a few days after the first McDonald's. Oh my god. Queen Elizabeth II and Marilyn Monroe were born in the same year. The last execution by guillotine in France and the release of the first Star Wars movie took place in the same year. There was a 24-year period where Abraham Lincoln could have sent a fax to a samurai. How was the fax machine? Did they even have electricity? Which sitcom character was the worst human being ever? Peter Griffin is genuinely a terrible person, and I'm convinced his exploits are supported by Lois's parents secretly giving them shitloads of money. That is actually a valid point, and immediately I thought of the Peter Copter. Jay's dad from The Inbetweeners. Frank or Dennis on Always Sunny. I can't think of anybody worse than Eric Cartman. It is so funny though to see him reformed in the new specials that they did. BoJack Horseman is a grade A asshole, but that's kind of the point. You still kind of root for him to do the right thing, you know? Lucille Bluth from Arrested Development. She's great. Millennials, what skill did you acquire in the 90s that you no longer use? Texting using T9. I was so good I could carry on a verbal conversation with my parents without looking at what I was texting. Is T9 the one where it was like, you had the number and then the 3 letters after it? Because that's insane if you could do that. Memorizing phone numbers. Now everyone just saves contacts on their phone. Burning CDs. I was the first one in my class who learned how to do it and had a computer capable of doing it. Making ashtrays at school to take home to your family. If my kid comes back with an ashtray, I'm taking up smoking. What's your small town trying to cover up? The city attempted to seize the land to lay piping down without paying for it or permission, force homeowners to maintain it, and then force the homeowners to pay for the work and a large hookup fee. Damn, they weren't even that evil in the castle. Not trying to necessarily cover it up, but the fire department doesn't have an engine, and the township board has not approved any of the ones that have been submitted to get a new engine. How does a fire department not have a fire truck? What? There's a lively discussion about whether or not to repurpose the land from an abandoned cemetery by exhuming those interred there and reburying them elsewhere. That is one that's like actually debatable. If you could place any object on the surface of Mars purely to confuse NASA scientists, what would it be? $200,000, a parachute, and the body of T.B. Cooper. A NASA spacecraft, one that NASA has no record of, like something they've never built but that has the NASA logos all over it. Surely they would just think it's like some time dilation. A big map of Earth with several points of interest marked on it. A white plastic lawn chair. I've just got the image of like some alien just sitting back chilling. I'm a geologist and I can confirm that just placing the wrong type of rock would fuck up science for like 30 years. Which cancelled TV show deserved another season? Heroes. Doesn't need a new season, needs to be redone. I've never watched it, but I always hear about it. I'm like, oh, maybe I should. Utopia, UK version. The only time I've sat down and watched an 8-hour video purely because it's pyrocynical. Inside Job, they got robbed by Netflix. Yeah, I can't believe they fired their whole staff. That's insane. Mindhunter, there it is. Someone did it. The Last Man on Earth. I read 3 volumes of the comics and I didn't finish the last 2, but I've been meaning to watch it. My name is Earl. People who don't reply until days later. Why? Some days I don't feel like talking to people. That's fair. Sometimes I just truly don't know what to reply to you. Ironically, it's because I often try to get thoughtful in my responses. I reply to them in my brain and forget to reply to them in real life. Yep. Anytime I've left someone on red, that's usually why. People expect immediate replies simply because they have your mobile number and can text you whenever they feel like it. Why? That is very good, but also a extremely snarky reply. How do you tell your girlfriend she has a mustache? One of my exes from high school told me that. I didn't realize that everyone else could see it. Now I shave it every time I shower and I can see it even when it isn't actually there. That's the other side of it, is that you just scar people mentally. I must ask you a question. I'm so happy that man got some Reddit gold. There is 0 chance she doesn't already know. Only tell her if she asks. For most people, about almost anything, that is the best way to go. Give her a small pocket mirror as a gift, but replace the mirror with a picture of Yosemite Sam. What instantly kills a vibe at a party? That one sad drunk who is loud as hell. Someone putting the big light on. Staying till close anywhere feels like that. In college, when we wanted to wrap up a party at 2 or 3 a.m., play Dark Side of the Moon. Drops the energy, no one is being asked to leave, people are chill as they head out. Hey, that's pretty good actually. Yeah, just play like a slower song. When someone changes a song before the best part, a couple getting into a public argument. Someone trying to show off a weapon, especially a gun. An overdose. Okay, very specific, man. Someone took a shit in the sink at a house party of mine once. What's a cover song that's better than the original? Johnny B. Good, Chuck Berry. The original version is performed by Marty McFly in 1955. Torn by Natalie Imbruglia. I didn't know that that's a cover. That's mad. Eric Cartman's cover of Poker Face. Not forgetting his version of Heat of the Moment. Unironically, him doing Heat of the Moment actually slaps. The Fairy Godmother's cover of Holding Out for a Hero. That goes as hard as the Bonnie Tyler version. The Wiggles covering Elephant. True story, that song lost me $200. Which actor do you despise so much that you won't watch a movie with them in it? Will Smith now. Previously watched everything he ever did. Andy Dick. Never liked him. Super annoying and he's not a good human being. I feel like I'm just shilling for Turkey Tom at this point, but watch that video on him. It was very good. Steven Seagal talks... can't act. Ezra Miller. I don't know, man. That Flash movie looks really good. Jared Leto. The only exception is American Psycho when Patrick hacks him to death. Gwyneth Paltrow. Damn, you missed out on some of the best MCU movies. That's unlucky. You wake up, it's January 1st, 1999. What do you do first? Start selling Y2K survival kits. You now have a little more than 2 years to prevent 9/11 and just a little over 4 months to prevent Columbine. Good luck. Party like it's 1999. Realize how addicted I am to my smartphone. Oh, that's so true, actually. Start betting on every major sporting event that I can remember the outcome for. Use my winnings to invest in Amazon and Google. You will be a very rich, happy man. Invest in Google, then buy Bitcoin a few years later. That is the next step, actually. Buy Bitcoin after that and sell it in 2017. Blanket NDAs are now illegal. What can you finally tell us about your former employer? I worked for a school district that changed grades to boost graduation rates. What? They tried to get me to sign one when I retired, but I just laughed at them and walked out. When you were retired, you are not under any circumstances required to sign an NDA. Weather forecasting company I worked at a while back didn't actually forecast. They just copy-pasted products from the National Weather Service and slapped their logo on it. How are they going to predict weather better than the government who's put way more money into it? That the founder is purposely bankrupting the company so no inheritance will be left to the family. Oh my god. What are some of the biggest scams times to have happened in history. The monorail in Springfield. Fake selling of Eiffel Tower twice. What? Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme. Really good Netflix documentary about that guy if you want to watch it. The price of printer ink. There's some 30-minute video about printer ink and how it's so overpriced. It's really good. I can't remember what it is. Ticketmaster. There it is. Everyone hates it, but everyone keeps using it. Insulin prices in America for the last decade. The war against drugs. And now it makes $1 billion a quarter in California. That is insane. Which city are you not going to visit ever again and why? Stockton, California. The McDonald's had an armed security guard. What is going on in Stockton? Atlantic City, New Jersey, if I can help it. That's just New York's Las Vegas, right? Dubai. It features so much about what I don't like about humanity. All the money and no substance. Blackpool. Not unless I'm forced against my will. Hollywood, specifically Hollywood Boulevard. It's really janky, the whole town kind of smells and it's just wholly disappointing. I had such a great time in Hollywood, but yes, it does smell like weed. Which actor was truly miscast in a particular role? Ben Affleck is Daredevil. The script was bad and that can take a lot of the blame. However, Affleck still moves around like his spine is fused. Tom Cruise is Jack Reacher, 6'5", my ass. Mark Wahlberg is Sully in the Uncharted movie. Miles Teller is Mr. Fantastic. I actually didn't mind him in that. That wasn't too bad at all. Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor. I still get mad at his performance. Shia LaBeouf in Indiana Jones. I don't think they knew they wanted to do and he exemplifies that. Ashton Kutcher in 2.5 Men. They should have just ended it. Which show was the best pilot episode? Arrested Development. One of my favorite shows. I love it. Heroes? Anyone? I scrolled a lot and didn't see that. I think Futurama's pilot is pretty perfect. I can't watch that show because of the sad dog episode. Invincible, Stranger Things, Modern Family was a good one. Mr. Robot had an amazing pilot episode. Mr. Robot is an amazing show. Black Mirror, they did not f*** about it. Breaking Bad. Almost every single episode of Breaking Bad is amazing. It's such a good show. What was discontinued but you miss like hell and you wish came back? The $1 menu at every fast food joint. Hungry Jack's got penny pinchers. Pizza Hut lunch buffets. Aladdin's Castle. It was an arcade in the local mall. I was heartbroken when they closed that place down. It's like when they closed the arcade down in Phillip Island and they made a real estate agent instead. Taco Bell being cheap. Used to be able to get 4 burritos and a drink for 10. Now it's 20 plus. Dude, a Taco Bell meal here is like $20. That's ridiculous. What show stayed good from start to finish? Avatar: The Last Airbender? Yeah, that movie was fire. The Wire. The In-Betweeners. It's such a funny show. British people can be funny sometimes. Better Call Saul. Mindhunter. It sucks that there won't be a 3rd season. Go back and see every single short about TV shows every single time it's been there. Cowboy Bebop. I'd say Mr. Robot. It definitely picks up in the middle season and goes from good to great, but the entire show is very well made. The Sopranos. I need to save this as a bookmark and just go back to it with like a list of things that I need to watch. What are your immediate thoughts when you hear a guy refer to himself as an alpha male? I can't take anything from him seriously from now on. Cringe. Yeah, fair. That he's deeply insecure. When I used to say I was Spider-Man, my mom would say, go be Spider-Man outside. So my first thought is go be an alpha male outside. My girlfriend has bruises she lies about. Another weakling who wants respect he doesn't deserve. This won't go well. He should go be a Redditor outside. Who is the best written female protagonist? Why? Sarah Connor. She starts out as a waitress, just another young woman without a care in the world. By the end of the movie, she's found enough courage to defend herself and take action and kill the Terminator. Kim Wexler. She has her own storylines that aren't related to Jimmy's as a very successful attorney despite being an introvert and has her own realistic flaws that lead her to make bad decisions. Better Call Saul wouldn't be as good if it wasn't for Kim. Diane Ewan. Good damage. She starts off so predictable but progresses throughout the series. No one put it on here, but Lucy from Devil's Hour. I loved that show, and she is amazing in it. What is a small psychological trick that you use to your advantage in everyday life? My son won't eat dinner, but he will eat a snack. Dinner is now called snack time for everyone. Assume stupidity instead of malice. The power of might as well. It's particularly useful if you're depressed and don't have a lot of energy to do things. When I can sense my thoughts turning dark, I start singing to myself. It's basically distraction and does help when I can catch things early enough. That's like the Tony Robbins trick of jumping up and down 10 times and you completely change your attitude and you're just excited. Taking a late lunch at work. I find that if I wait and take my lunch break closer to the end of the shift, it makes the day feel shorter, more bearable. It works so well. What's the dumbest thing someone accused you of without any evidence? I once had a co-worker write to my manager to complain I was racist because I wouldn't pirate a copy of Northern Utilities and give it to her. In high school, half the school thought I was gay and the other half thought I was a vegetarian. I'm neither and have no idea how the two related. I had a co-worker accuse me of being gay. I was married with 5 kids. He was single, living with a male roommate. Doing Witchcraft on the Bus? Witchcraft on the Bus is a good album title. An ex accused me of cheating on him with my best friend. My best friend is a gay woman. I love that this post is just the meme of finally beat the gay allegations. What's a product that's gotten significantly worse over the years? Furniture. Everything used to be solid wood. Now it's all paperboard. I don't know, you ever stubbed your toe on furniture? It still hurts. Social media. Facebook before the news ads outrage feed was a really nice tool. KFC. Jeans. I have Gap jeans from when I was 14 that are in great shape. Meanwhile, I'll buy overpriced designer shit today and I'm lucky for the last 2 years. Dude, just buy one set of everything and change it out once a year. That's what I do. TurboTax. The fees to file basic taxes is crazy. Uber. Used to be cheap, now I can't get a driver half the time. The lack of buttons that TVs have these days, I hate it. Yeah, they have a remote. I don't know if you know this. What video game would you consider flawless? Tetris? Portal 2. Graphics that still look good today, top-notch voice acting from all of its characters, funny script, perfect and engaging gameplay, subtle and intriguing story. Portal 2 is an amazing game. Go watch me play it. Super Mario 3, the original Doom, Metal Gear Solid, Stardew Valley, and I've been meaning to get on that. Batman Arkham Asylum was way ahead of its time. I don't know, I like Arkham City more. I'm surprised nobody mentioned the Half-Life 2 series yet, because it's not as good as you remember. I played it recently. Go check it out. People who got the urge to fix their life at 3 AM and actually did something? What happened? Laying on my couch feeling my heart pumping out of my chest, I finally gave up a 10-year addiction to cocaine and haven't looked back since. I poured out about $1,500 worth of liquor I'd been slowly drinking myself to death with under the guise of being a whiskey connoisseur and quit my job as a bartender via text. That is insane. I got the urge 3 weeks ago to drop everything and go back to school. I finished my enrollment today and officially start next week. I added up all the hours I logged playing video games since Skyrim first launched. I logged 8,700 hours and was just on the Steam app. The next day I changed my diet entirely. I also started working out. I lost 40 pounds and then gained 10 in lean muscle. That is awesome. This is the best Reddit thread I've ever read. What's the most disturbing Disney theory? Cars taking place after a war where the sapient machines wiped out their human creators. Leela was responsible for her parents' death because she failed to bring Pudge the fish a sandwich. What? I have never heard that before. If there was a sentient toilet in Beauty and the Beast. Was a voice with a German accent. The merchant at the very beginning of Aladdin is just making up the story as he's just trying to sell you a lamp. My favorite is Donald Duck being a World War II vet. That's why he acts the way he does. Woody is Andy's father's old toy and it's the only thing he has to remember him. Redditors who have actually won a lifetime supply of something. What was the supply you won and how long did it actually last? Won a lifetime supply of mini chocolate milk cartons during milk day at school. That was in 2007. I'm still getting milk shipped to me. My fiance drinks it because I've grown to hate milk. Oh my god. 18 years ago, we won a lifetime of vet visits for my cat. The cat's still alive. The vet has moved and rebranded 4 or 5 times, but they're still honoring the award. That's pretty good of them to honor it still. My mum almost ate the white M&M that they promoted like 25 years ago. If you find it, send it in, you get a lifetime supply of M&Ms. It still managed to make it through the lifetime supply in about 1 month. What eventually disappeared and no one noticed? People fainting when something unexpected happens. And people carrying smelling salts for such an occasion. It's so 19th century. Somewhere along the way, 9 to 5 turned into 8 to 5. I don't know where you're working, but all I gotta say is sucked in. Toys in cereal boxes. Ronald McDonald. You remember the old clown everywhere in and around McDonald's commercials and stores? Phased out when that clown scare prank was going around. That's true, you don't see any of the mascots anymore. I kind of miss that. What computer feature do most people not know about? The cup holder can also be used to play old CDs. Control backspace deletes the whole word in one go instead of having to press backspace multiple times? No way. Dude! Dude! Windows button plus V brings up all copy text and pictures. The amount of people I've taught this in workspaces when they thought they could only copy one piece of text at a time. Window key, Shift, and S for immediate snipping tool that saves to your clipboard. Control Shift Windows B for soft graphic driver reset. What are some mysteries that have actually been solved? A man in Florida fooled people for years into believing there was a giant penguin walking in the beaches. The hoax began in 1958 and was only revealed to be a hoax in 1988. How did people believe that for 30 years? Elisa Lam, the woman found dead in the water tank on top of a hotel in Los Angeles. Wasn't a murder or ghost, she was mentally ill having a bipolar episode. Now that's just sad. I hope you're happy. Happy whatever day. Bermuda Triangle turns out to have the expected number of mishaps at sea given the amount of shipping that traverses it. That's interesting. That kind of rules the fun, but that's interesting. What is the one thing you do each Monday morning that helps you get through the day? Only 5 more days. 4 more wake-ups to the weekend. The same thing we do every day, Pinky. Think about the weekend. I have a special Monday breakfast. I have a cappuccino with fancy protein blueberry waffles that I just make in the toaster from frozen. I feel like I'm having a fancy brunch and it's relatively healthy. That's actually such a good idea. I want to start doing that. Start off with a glass of water, then a smoothie with cold brew coffee, then a hot cup of coffee, then prescription amphetamines. I can't tell if that's a joke. I don't know why that got me. That was a good one. In honor of Jerry Springer's passing, what's the most Jerry Springer situation you have witnessed or experienced in real life? A former employee blew up her 30-year marriage for some guy 20 years younger who had spent the majority of his life in prison but was getting out soon. Don't worry, he's getting out soon. Went round to a mate's house when I was a youngster. Sitting in his room playing Nintendo and listening to sounds, his mother and his sister started having a massive argument, like really screaming and shouting at each other. And then just when it seemed to be calming down, this little nugget flew out of the mother's mouth. I'm sick and tired of pretending to be Kevin's mother. You should be taking care of him. He's your son. What is the dumbest controversy in the last 10 years? Sandy Hook being I don't think I can put that in. The idea that Obama was going to invade, conquer, and occupy Texas like it was France and turn into part of his own personal empire. Changing the shoes of an animated Eminem. I have a friend that came out as gay. He's now 100% convinced he's gay because of the COVID booster shot he got a few weeks ago. She was freaking out about it. People tried to warn me about those things because shit like this and I didn't listen. If you were handed $10 billion right now, what would you still never buy? Those rocks that Gwyneth Paltrow shoves up her gooch. Reddit Premium / Twitter Blue. It's fine though, I will buy millions in Reddit Gold. I'll never buy the sad look my cat gives me, which says he hasn't eaten enough. He's on a diet. Single-ply toilet paper. NFTs. Damn, they really happened for a while, didn't they? Nestle products. Oh, it's been a few months, but the Nestle hate is back. What movie blew your mind when you saw it? Terminator 2 Judgment Day. The visual effects were insane for that time. The liquid metal thing still does look really good. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I was probably 8 or 9 when I saw it the first time. I just couldn't wrap my head around how they had real people and cartoon characters acting alongside each other. Star Wars 1977 opening night. That movie was literally like nothing else. I can recall getting vertigo when the X-Wing fighters dropped into the trench when battling the Death Star. You don't even think about what effects it can have on an audience not having seen something like that before. What is the greatest opening lyric of all time? Why do they always send the paw? Ah! In the time of chimpanzees, I was a monkey. What does that mean? Oh my god, Becky, look at her butt. You wake up late for school, man. You don't want to go. I pushed my finger into my eyes. Okay. I'm not surprised that Reddit has a lot of edgy kids on here. Let's go, girls. I woke up this morning with a bad hangover and my penis was missing again. What? What's a tradition that you think people should get rid of? Smashing of the face on the birthday cake? Any variation of let's make animals fight? All those family vloggers exploiting their children on putting them on the internet for all the creeps to see. Ace family. Underage brides. What's it called that they tried to get rid of that tradition with? Oh yeah, the law. That's right. Tipping. Just pay the waiter a real wage and stop leaving that up to the customer. Good point. Gender reveal parties. Didn't that start a massive forest fire in California or something? The US political party system. There he is, officer. The best person to have at a party. What is something people describe as healthy, but it's actually unhealthy? The belief that if a product contains no man-made chemicals, it must be healthy. Arsenic, cyanide, and a multitude of other substances are natural. Herbalife. Every time I see someone write Herbalife, I think of the herbarium in LA and also Get a Life from GTA. Juice cleansers, no fiber or anything, just straight up sugar water. Most healthy brand juices, a lot of them contain more sugar than the average soda. Actually a good point when it comes to juice. Having perfectly white teeth, it's not a sign of healthy but scrubbed, chemically treated or outright sanded teeth. What is the one thing you do on Friday to start your weekend properly? My wife and I get a pizza from one of our favorite places and split a bottle of wine on the deck. It's not much, but we always get excited for it, and we each have our own Pizza Friday song and dance we do as we're getting ready in the morning. I like those small little things. It's those small little things, without getting too sad, makes life worth it. In the IT world, we have read-only Fridays. If you don't change anything on Friday, then you won't need to fix it on Saturday. Every Friday night, I camp downstairs with my 2 young children. We make beds on the sofas, watch a film, and enjoy a nice supper. In a few short years, I know they'll think it's not that great to hang out with dad. That's so sweet. What is a good The Bad Guy Wins movie? Silence of the Lambs. Buffalo Bill is killed, but Lecter escapes to eat another day. To eat another day, Jesus. Make a mine. No bitches. Primal Fear. Oh, that movie is a banger. Go watch it. 7? Does the bad guy win in Oh yeah, he gets away at the end, doesn't he? Nightcrawler. Watchmen. Do the bad guys win in Watchmen? I don't remember. It's been ages since I've seen it. Empire Strikes Back, of course. Gone Girl. The Big Short. What obsolete companies are you surprised are still holding on in the modern world? I had some older woman knocking on my door at like 2 p.m. on a Wednesday trying to come in and give me a demo of a Kirby vacuum cleaner. Jenny Craig just bottomed up this week. I'm surprised it lasted this long. I mean, that's just a diet. That seems like it should still exist. I read that Netflix just announced they are going to stop mailing DVDs from rentals in the next few months. I thought they stopped doing that a long time ago. Yeah, I thought they just made like a clean switch. The yellow pages. MySpace.com is still fully functioning. Why don't bands still try and launch their career off of MySpace? If aliens came to Earth and wanted to speak to only one ambassador, who would you want it to be? David Attenborough. Nardwuar. He would confuse them about how he already has so much information about their species. Jeff Bridges reprising his role as the dude. The head of the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs, which is currently Nicholas Hedman. Basically part of his job. He spent time thinking about it, reading theories about it. He is the most qualified person for the job. It's so weird that the official line is that aliens don't exist, but also we have a guy ready to go in case they do. What's the scariest theory you know of? Quantum immortality. The idea that every time you die, your consciousness shifts to a part of the multiverse where you would have survived. That's insane. I got so high once I asked myself, what if those voices in my head are versions of myself from failed timelines? That's terrifying. The Dark Forest theory. The reason why we don't see any evidence of alien life out there is that no one is keen to broadcast themselves with the risk of being detected by more hostile civilizations. That time repeats as the universe expands. We live our lives over and over again with billions of years in between each brief instant of consciousness that we are completely unaware of. Boltzmann brain or brain in a jar. Basically, there is no way you can prove you aren't a dismembered brain hallucinating the entire reality. Thanks for watching through this. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you want to see some more. Yeah, have a good one.